This is Neural Newscast.
Your week in review for Sunday, July 12th, 2026.
From Neural Newscast, I'm Peter Rowan.
And I'm Isabel Moreno.
Earlier this week, a massive Russian assault on Kyiv exposed critical gaps in Ukraine's defense strategy. On Monday, Russia launched 351 drones and 68 missiles, resulting in at least 12 fatalities and 60 injuries.
The most alarming detail for analysts was that all 29 ballistic missiles hit their targets. This highlighted a severe shortage of Patriot interceptor missiles, a supply problem that President Zelensky took directly to the NATO summit in Ankara.
Zelensky's persistence paid off later in the week with a new agreement with the United States. Ukraine has secured licenses to produce Patriot interceptors domestically, which should eventually reduce their dependence on direct transfers from strained American stockpiles.
Beyond immediate defense, Ukraine is also pivoting to become a provider of tactical expertise. They are moving to sign drone deals with 7 NATO countries to share knowledge on countering Iranian-made drones, positioning themselves as a hub for modern electronic warfare.
While we were tracking developments in Eastern Europe, the geopolitical scene in the Middle East became significantly more complex. The tenuous ceasefire between the United States and Iran effectively collapsed after a series of attacks on commercial tankers in the Strait of Hormuz.
Dr. Trump declared the existing Memorandum of Understanding over after United States Central Command launched strikes against Iranian targets in retaliation for those tanker hits. This led to a sharp escalation, including missile fire against United States bases in Kuwait and Bahrain.
The escalation peaked when explosions rocked Iran's Bushehr province. The semi-official Mehr news agency reported strikes near a nuclear power plant, though local officials claimed there were no immediate casualties in that specific sector.
The tension even affected the president's travel from the NATO summit. In a surprising security move, Trump abandoned his newly retrofitted Qatari gifted jet in favor of an older Air Force One model that features more robust missile countermeasures.
By the end of the week, we saw a temporary pause in the fighting. This de-escalation coincided with the funeral for former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, though Israeli and Jordanian forces remain on high alert for renewed hostilities.
Moving to domestic policy, the 2026 midterm landscape saw a major shift in Maine. Democrat Graham Platner suspended his campaign for the United States Senate following allegations of sexual assault, a move that followed the withdrawal of several high-profile endorsements.
The Maine Democratic Party is now racing against a July 13th deadline to name a replacement. This seat is seen as a must-win for the party, and several officials, including Secretary of State Shenna Bellows, are now considering potential bids.
In Florida, the rebranding of a major travel hub is officially complete. Palm Beach International Airport is now the President Donald J. Trump International Airport, a change mandated by state law that took effect this past Thursday.
There are some unique legal questions remaining here, Isabel. Trademark applications filed by a private company managing the president's intellectual property have raised concerns about whether a private entity should hold rights over the identity of a public, taxpayer-funded facility.
Shifting back to global headlines, France's Marine Le Pen has defiantly launched her 2027 presidential campaign. This came just hours after a court of appeal confirmed her conviction for misusing public funds, though she plans a further appeal to stay her sentence.
In Australia, a massive 12-hour network failure at Telstra paralyzed critical services earlier this week. A software defect in timekeeping servers caused regional trains to stop and prevented dozens of emergency calls from connecting, prompting a national investigation.
We also have a troubling report from India, Peter. A judge named Tabassum Khan has been targeted with death threats after sentencing 14 men to life in prison for a mob lynching. The abuse has focused on her religion, drawing condemnation from major judicial bodies.
In Utah, prosecutors laid out what they called devastating evidence in the murder case of conservative figure Charlie Kirk. Preliminary hearings revealed DNA on a rifle and text message confessions from 23-year-old Tyler Robinson, who could face the death penalty.
On the health front, officials in the Democratic Republic of the Congo warn that an Ebola outbreak is now the fastest growing on record. There are over 1,700 cases of the rare Bundibugyo variant, and containment efforts are being hampered by ongoing militia conflicts.
Finally, Ford has rehired 300 veteran human engineers after their AI-powered quality systems failed to match human standards. The move helped the company reach the top of the J.D. Power initial quality study.
And the 2026 Emmy nominations were announced this week. The hospital drama The Pit leads the pack with 25 nominations, while the comedy series Hacks set a new record for its final season with 24 nods.
It has been a dense week across security, politics, and health. We will continue to monitor the situation in the Strait of Hormuz as the mourning period in Tehran concludes. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com. Thanks for listening.